Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to the Demon Souls livestream series. I'm not going to speak at length about what happened in the previous livestream, because I did actually make a standalone video to discuss it. I think I made that video about 2 weeks ago, maybe even 3. I've lost track at this point. I don't really care. I had a bit of a break from the game, as I said I would, in that video, and you can kind of see that in the title of the video as well. So for those of you who didn't really feel like watching that video for whatever reason, you probably, at the very least, were able to see that I was going to take a break from the game, because I was nice enough to put it in the title of the video. So I've had my break, I think. Well, I've had a break, that's for sure. Is it a sufficient one? I don't know. But what I can say is that I kind of feel like playing the game, but not for the innocent reason that, oh, I'd love to play Demon Souls right now. It's more like I want to do other builds in this game because I'm interested in it. I would very much like to do that, but I've basically forced myself to do this build, and I haven't really... Well, the reason why I'm forcing myself to do this build right now, it's not like it's going to be actually painful, because otherwise I wouldn't be recording this today. My meaning is that I failed my build effectively in New Game, so I have to fix it in New Game Plus, and then in New Game Plus 2, we'll be able to actually achieve the goal of the build, which is to get the Northern Regalia. So we're going to be going through New Game Plus. Oh shit, I'm pressing circle to select things because I've been playing too many games that do that lately. But yeah, that's basically what's happening. Because we failed the build last time, we're just going to have to do a quick New Game Plus run. This recording is not going to be super long. I would like for it to be, but having said that, I don't really feel like recording that long today. But what I'm going to be doing here is doing the fastest run through New Game Plus that I can manage, without, you know, going to speedrun strat level gameplay. So we'll see what happens with that, but the point is that, again, all we want from this whole process of playing New Game Plus is the Northern Regalia, which is something we get at the very end. So it's a little bit annoying that we have to go through the whole game just to do that, because I was foolish enough to actually not pick up the Soulbrandt at the end of New Game in the last recording. But it is what it is. I couldn't really see an alternative to it, so this is what I'm going to do. And it doesn't feel right to just move on to a different build when I haven't even fulfilled what I wanted to do with this build, because keep in mind, this was going to be something that I would continue in New Game Plus anyway, because you can't even get the Northern Regalia in New Game. But here I am now, going through New Game Plus, unable to get that, which means it'll be 3 playthroughs of the game in this build back to back. So that's the way it is, and I'm okay with that. I may not sound okay with it, but relatively speaking, I'm okay with it. I could be a lot less okay with it, so... Well, I can tell you I was a lot less okay with it 2 weeks ago, but I'm alright with it now. I can play through the game. So, let's recap, let's establish what our character is doing here. We've got the Old King Doran set, the Ancient King set, more specifically, or more accurately rather, and we've got the Knight's Shield plus 10 here. One thing that I was wanting to do actually was continue killing named NPC Black Phantoms so that I can take my character tendency further to black. Or is it? No, further to white, that's right. It's been a little while. It just goes to show that it doesn't have to be a long time for me to forget what the hell I'm doing. But do we need the Ring of Herculean Strength on right now? No. Well, yes, we do need it on right now, but my meaning is that once we put away this stuff, it shouldn't be necessary. We do have quite a bit of Hardstone and Sharpstone to put away here. We've even got Clearstone and Dark Moonstone, God knows why. Obviously I've been a little bit naughty and haven't been putting away stuff that I am not using. Storm Ruler, we may use it, probably not though. We'll have to see. My point being that we might actually... Of course we'll use it to kill the boss, actually, now that I think about it. I'm talking out of my ass. My thought process was, I may not be grinding souls in World 4-4 this time. It might not be necessary. But yeah, of course I will need the Storm Ruler again to fight the boss itself. And it's a good thing to just have the Storm Ruler on hand as soon as you enter the boss area in New Game Plus, because it saves you going all the way to the the end of the area to pick up the sword and all of that business, so yeah, that's the situation. Is my head phasing out of existence? I don't really know. There's a bit of a storm going on outside, so I'm pleased that in spite of that storm, the lighting's still decent. But, well, I guess you couldn't really call it a storm, could you? I guess it's more, it's rain and lots of wind. It's a very windy day, and the rain is intermittent. So, therefore, it's not really a storm, just generally bad weather, is how you would describe that. So how are we going for Stones of Ephemeral Eyes at the moment? We've got 4. That's actually not too bad. It's not quite enough to take down an area from our current world tendency levels, because you can see they're all pretty close to white. And the reason why is because I've been killing named NPC Black Phantoms and bosses, which is taking these Archstones to pure white, etc. So that's a little bit of a concern, but a concern in the way that we will need more Stones of Ephemeral Eyes to kill named Black Phantom NPCs, but that's the way it is. We just have to grit our teeth and do whatever is needed. And what's needed right now is the clearing of World 1-1, because we can't do anything with the souls that we currently have on hand, because we don't have access to Execution Marauder. Now this recording that I'm doing here stands to be the first New Game Plus recording that I'm doing in this series, right here. And again, it wasn't really my intention to have it be of a failed build, as of New Game Plus, but again, just when I was talking about natural lighting being good, right? Isn't that ironic? So what we'll do is we'll boost up the chroma key, and hopefully my head won't phase out of existence. Let's have a look. Oh, it seems okay. Guys, if you start to see the game through my head, it's alright, it's just the chroma key. I'm not actually, as I'm sitting here, phasing into another reality. But, So of course we are now in New Game Plus, which means that these guys here with their fast flailing attacks are actually going to be dealing quite a bit of damage to us. Now I believe that we're at pure white here. Yeah, no we're not. I think this is the only Archstone that's not at pure white. I'm not sure about the Shrine of Storms, maybe that's not. But anyway, after we kill this boss we will be at pure white in the Boletarian Palace Archstone. So therefore, we will be able to access Execution Marauder. Now, is there anything that I want to get from Execution Marauder? Not really. Not that I can think of. She's not going to contribute to our positive character tendency when we kill her. So, it makes me wonder exactly what I would gain from going and fighting her. We're a New Game Plus, she's going to have a lot of health. But I guess I could cheese her with Poison Cloud. But again, imagine cheesing her with Poison Cloud and not even really get anything from it. It's like, what's the point? See the range of that weapon there? Much like I was having issues, let's rephrase that sentence. I was having similar issues with Old King Doran when fighting him. I think that I'm not in his range, and then he hits me with this sword that really does have more range than it looks. Because I guess it's so thin towards the end that you don't really register it in your mind as being an extension of the sword, but if you really look, it's quite frickin' long. It's definitely about as long as a claymore, just a different sort of design. But it is certainly faster than a claymore, that much can be said for sure. I don't know how it compares to the length of the bastard sword and the flamberge, but yeah, or is it faster than the claymore? No, I guess it's the same speed, isn't it? It just looks like it's faster because it's a lighter looking weapon, but it's really not faster, I don't believe. Anyway, what I will be doing, once again, and I'm playing like an idiot, is I will be going through New Game Plus as fast as possible. However, we will be using the Demon Brand at a suboptimal damage output. Now, the reason why it's suboptimal is because we're not at a very bright character tendency. If you compare it to the last build that we were doing, which was our light strength build, that character profile, like in the center there, was actually shining white. I don't know if it was at pure white at that point. It would be very strange if it were, because I don't think I was doing anything to get it to pure white. But, or I don't believe I did enough to get it to pure white. But, the point is that we were doing better in that build in terms of our character tendency, and we weren't really doing anything that would scale with our character tendency, much like we are in this build with our Soulbrandt and Demonbrandt, to later be fused into one sword called the Northern Regalia. So the situation's kind of shit, because I'm literally able to refer back to a previous build where I was doing better than I was in this one. So, at this rate, I may as well fucking turn that build into my Northern Regalia build. No, it wouldn't be necessary. I mean, if you really think about it, and this is a funny thought, it's not that far away from being the case, because I'm doing this whole section of New Game Plus, or this whole New Game Plus playthrough here of the game just against Soulbrandt. I could also get Demonbrandt in this time, so if I were to do a different character that's already in New Game Plus, like my Light Strength build, that would work. But of course we're using that build for something else, so I wouldn't actually do that. That wouldn't be the smartest decision. I don't know if there's any background noise from the wind outside making its way into the microphone. I don't think there is, and even if there is, I would say it's fairly acceptable, particularly after the recording that I had in Breath of the Wild a few days ago, where I had a fucking dickhead with an angle grinder ruining it. I think you guys would prefer the odd gust of wind to a guy with a fucking angle grinder, and he might even have a circular saw back there, I don't know. He has a fucking jackhammer, so he must also have a circular saw, realistically. So, just be glad you haven't had the jackhammer make an appearance. You guys are probably thinking, oh, the angle grinder's pretty shit. Well, if you think the angle grinder's shit, I'm telling you now, the jackhammer shakes my whole frickin' room, so yeah, you'd be hearing that not just in terms of volume, but in terms of vibration transfer to the microphone. Not really, that's hyperbole on my part, but the point is, the jackhammer sucks, and I'm glad that the jackhammer has taken a rest. I don't believe the jackhammer will be turned on anytime soon, touch wood. But, yeah. Good discussions, right? Anyway, what I was trying to say before, I didn't really get done with what I was discussing. Because we're at suboptimal damage, we're not really going to be getting through New Game Plus here at the speed that I'd like to. As well as that, I do need to try and kill some named NPC Black Phantoms to get my character tendency at a higher level. The main reason why I'm not doing well with my character tendency is because I think I killed 2 NPCs with whatever it's called, Poison Cloud. Now, if you have a named NPC Black Phantom die from anything that's not your physical attack, so for example, like you could even use a bow to kill them, but if it's something like Poison Cloud or they die from falling, their death does not contribute to your character tendency, which is pretty nasty of the game developers to do, but I understand why, because it's not too difficult to cheese them with Poison Cloud. But, it is what it is. I'm glad I found out that was the case sooner than I did. Because, or rather, I'm glad I didn't find out about that several deaths after the number I had already reached, because then that would have been all the more annoying. Again, you have to try and look at the bright side, don't you? There aren't too many positives in this situation, because, you know, you fail the build, but anyway. I could go and get another Demonbrandt. No, I think I can live without that. Of course, the Demonbrandt weapon cannot be upgraded, if you were wondering. The only way to increase its damage is to, in fact... Come on, don't turtle me, mate. The only way to increase its damage is to work on your character tendency, which is why it is a high priority for us to go and kill some Black Phantom NPCs. So. Okay, Half Moon Grass, not too bad. At this point I am using Crescent Moon Grass at the expense of my time, because I would rather have it be at the expense of my time rather than at the expense of the grass that I have outside of Crescent Moon, because I don't have much of it. Now, I could go and talk to Ostrava. He's really got nothing for me in this playthrough. I mean, he's got Brass Telescope, Dark Moon Grass, Pure Clear Stone. Don't need any of that. And I don't need the Thief's Ring down there either. No, you don't. So obviously he will explode the barrels in your face, and that's a bad time, so... Not that I really need to explain that at this point. But again, it's conversational, isn't it? Hello. Okay, so your friend... I think, was it Dark Souls 2 that I was playing recently, where I was getting really pissed off that there isn't... Yeah, that's what it is. So because in Dark Souls 2, and I can talk about the issues with Dark Souls 2 all fucking day, but the fact that parries in Dark Souls 2 are so delayed, like with the riposta, you actually have to wait for fucking 5 hours while the dickhead sits on his ass, and then you stick your sword in him, and it's like, oh, give me a break. The whole dynamic in the past was that you could go up and fight, say, or rather you could be surrounded by many enemies, and you could just walk up to one, focus on them in terms of timing, and then do a riposta, and you're safe because you have an invulnerability period while doing the riposta. But it's not instantaneous in Dark Souls 2 because you have to do the parry first and then wait, I think, a full 2 to 3 seconds to actually begin the riposta. So you're actually at risk for that length of time, which therefore means that there are less use case scenarios for parrying in that game. And I hate it. It just doesn't feel right. When you go from being able to parry in certain circumstances in other games to not being able to parry in those circumstances in another game, you're sitting there going, why was this change necessary? I can give you an answer to that question. Well, no, I can't give you an answer to that question, but I can say quite clearly that it was not necessary, and it shouldn't exist, because, in fact, that whole game shouldn't exist. Dark Souls 2 is a fucking mess, and anyone who likes it, and I'm serious about this, is someone who either played the game as their first Souls game, or they're ignorant. I'm sorry, like, you're just ignorant and you don't get what makes Souls good, because the whole issue with Dark Souls 2 was that everything was designed to make it harder. Now, some of you will respond to what I just said there by saying, the game's not even hard. Well, I would actually beg to differ. There are certain aspects to the game that are easier, as compared to the other Souls games, but definitely... Okay, let me give you a list. Now, this is just off the top of my head. There are a lot of other things. Estus flasks, you get less of them, and you drink them slow as all fuck. Second, fall damage is heavily increased. First thing that I noticed when I was playing Dark Souls 2 for the first time back in 2014 when it came out, was how fucking ludicrous the falling damage was. Absolutely stupid, and not clever, not good design. You've got the fact that shields, a lot of the shields in the early game do not block, 100% physical. Ridiculous in my opinion, and unnecessary. You've got the fact that, what else was there? I mean, the combat in general is designed, it's so much slower, and you really have to fight the controls during combat. And then you've also got, linking into that combat aspect, the fact that the enemies pursue you so aggressively. Some enemies in that game, they run like insects to chase after you. They do these little runs and they travel so much fucking distance to chase you. And it doesn't feel right. It's uncomfortable. It's just, it's not even, yes, it's slightly more difficult, but it's not comfortable at all. It's just stupid. And I can go on and on and on about all the things that they changed in that fucking game to make it harder. But for me, it was clear that all they were doing was picking out every single aspect of the Souls series and going, how can we make this harder? And the result was Dark Souls 2. But the issue here is that there's absolutely no careful design involved. It's just, you know, how do we make it more difficult? It's brainless, it's soulless, ironic to say, but it's brainless and soulless, and it's not good design. It feels like a game made by people who didn't understand what made the Souls series special. It wasn't just the difficulty that made the Souls series special. It was everything else. And everything else was something that they decided to fuck with. And the balance was lost, and it just didn't feel right anymore. That's Dark Souls 2. And yet people want to walk around, not many people these days, it's become less common for people to speak well of it. But these days, there are still people who want to say that that's a good game. And it's simply not. It's playable for me because it still retains a lot of Souls aspects, but yeah. I'm not sure, Epidemic, but yeah. Hello, Ethan. I didn't end up recording Breath of the Wild because I felt like recording this today, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know about a graphics mod, but basically Dark Souls 2's issues are completely unrelated to graphics. Graphics are absolutely irrelevant to me in a video game. Okay, Dark Souls is all about the gameplay experience. If this game looked like arse, okay, the one that I'm playing right now, but it felt beautiful to play, I wouldn't give a damn about the graphics looking like arse, because it's all about the feeling. One thing I can say is that maybe in certain aspects, the visuals of Demon Souls, and I think you guys might be hearing a little bit of background noise from the wind, you know, a bit of banging here and there, but the visuals of Demon Souls in certain situations, like certain comparisons is what I mean to say. So like, you might look at something in particular and compare it to a modern Souls game and go, wow, that doesn't look good at all, because, you know, this game is over 10 years old now. But this game feels better to play than the modern games, in my opinion. All the animations are quick and snappy, and when you want to do something, you're doing it immediately. The combat is smooth, clean, fast, and to the point, which is literally the polar opposite of Dark Souls 2, which was the other issue with the game. And I believe that was an intentional change to make it harder to just do anything in that game, because everything is so slow and meandering and fucking sluggish. And the point is, ultimately, that the way the game feels to play trumps the way it looks in every single regard when it comes to determining game quality overall. Like, why the fuck would I care about how it looks? Which is the reason why I'm not excited, or at least not as excited as other people are, about the idea of a remake of Demon Souls. Because, guess what? If they're doing everything from scratch, what is available to fuck up? The combat. If they're making it from scratch, then that means the combat will be different. Will it be the same as Dark Souls 3? If it is, I don't mind. There are some people, I actually have a viewer who isn't excited by the idea of the combat being like Dark Souls 3, but for me personally, I don't really mind if it's like Dark Souls 3. But one thing I would like to say is that I enjoy the way this game feels to play, and I'd like for them to retain that feeling in the game that comes to effectively replace this one. So, you know, and it's not like they can't do that. If the animations in a game from 10 years ago feel better, then there's no reason why they can't make them feel just as good, if not better than that, again, with a modern game. There's just, people have more control at their fingertips now than ever, as compared to 10 years ago when it comes to game design, but there's fashions in game design as well, I would say. And I would say that I would say a few more times, and let's use derivative, well, not even, don't worry about it. I'm getting mixed up in my mind again with my commentary, but the point is that it's just not necessary for the game to be remade from scratch, in my opinion. I think all they needed to do was do a remaster, but I don't really need to talk about this at length. It is what it is. It might still end up being good. I just want it to still be Demon Souls when it comes out. Because I'm telling you now, if it's not Demon Souls, no one's going to give a shit, because no one played Demon Souls. For them, it's just going to be a new Souls game, so like, it could actually be completely different to the game that I'm playing right now, and no one would give a single fuck. So I'm not expecting it to be bad, I'm just worried about the things that could potentially be fucked up, right? That's my concern. Am I being worst case scenario? I'm not sure. Now I'm going to use my Dragon Claymore, which is not entirely upgraded, but I think it's going to work better for me here. Yeah, this is looking a bit better, isn't it? Getting hit for quite a bit of damage right here. Come on, hit him in the back while you're here. Now, I did use New Moon Grass unintentionally before. Come on. There we go. Well, we can say that it'll be Dark Souls 3 style, but what if they do something different again? What if they just do something that's, well, something that could be considered an evolution of Dark Souls 3? Now, as soon as you take something and then evolve it, there's no guarantee it will actually evolve. It can just as easily devolve, and that's what I'm concerned about. So, let's not forget that Dark Souls 3 is like a, what is it? 2016 game now? 2017? I can't remember. Maybe it's 2017. But maybe it's 2016. No, it can't be 2016 because Bloodborne was 2015. So it must be a 2017 game. So again, we're talking about 3 years ago. And by the time the Dark Souls, or rather Demon Souls remake comes out, it will have been 4 years ago. And then at that point, it sort of makes it clear that there is a good chance that they will have different combat again from Dark Souls 3. And is it going to be good? In my opinion, there's absolutely no way to know. And I don't believe that you can look at other Bluepoint games as a point of reference. And I could be completely wrong about what I just said, but that's my personal feeling. So, really? The game's from 2016? I guess that makes sense now that I think about it. All I remember is seeing it come out, going, whoa, that heads-up display looks like complete dick, and also saying, everyone seems to love it, so that must mean it's shit. And then I just didn't play it until 2018. So, it was their highest selling title, only because of the timing of its release, not because it was particularly better than any of the others. I can assure you that if it was actually marginally worse than Dark Souls 2, it would have sold the same amount. Fact. Because the only reason why people dislike Dark Souls 2 now is because Demon Souls was why do I keep mixing up these names in my head? The only reason why Dark Souls 2 is disliked today is because Dark Souls 3 was so good. Now, let's keep in mind that people are only playing Dark Souls 2 in the year of 2014, 2015. We're not including Bloodborne because it's a different combat system. But basically, people's idea of a Souls game in 2014, 2015 was Dark Souls 2. If they made more of the same, no one would have complained because no one would have had a point of reference. The point of reference being the game I'm playing right now and Dark Souls 1. Because people were too fucking stupid to look back in the past and realize, hey, the newest game that's out isn't necessarily the best game that's out. Because it's very common in game series for things to devolve and become worse. So, there you go. The only reason why, in my honest opinion, that Dark Souls 3 was big and sold so much was because by that time, everyone who had played Dark Souls 2 and had also played Bloodborne was just ready for the next From Software release. And they could have presented a turd on a stick to the gaming community at that time, and everyone would have eaten it up. Because, I'm telling you now, Dark Souls 2 was a huge turd on a stick. It was a fucking dragon turd on a stick, and everyone loved it. Everyone ate it like it was ice cream, okay? So, and people only stopped eating it like ice cream when Dark Souls 3 ended up being good, so that's my view. Well, I forgot it's New Game Plus. But yeah, fortunately we don't live in a world where Dark Souls 3 was actually turd on a stick, so I'm glad. I'm very glad, and I say that in a way that would suggest that I'm not being honest. No, I'm actually genuinely glad that the game was good, because I would say that as far as my Souls experience is concerned, the most elated I have felt in recent years has been playing Dark Souls 3 for the first time, because I wasn't expecting a good game at all. I thought I was going to hate it, and I played it and I'm like, this is like a cinematic version of Demon Souls. That's how I felt, because so much of what made Demon Souls good returned, and, you know, the combat was more cinematic, but I was able to get used to that within 2 hours of gameplay. And, yeah, I was just so glad that the game ended up being good, so. In other words, the situation right now is unclear. I don't know if I should be anticipating the Demon Souls remake with any level of excitement or expectation even. Like, I think I should just throw my expectations out the door. All I can say is that there's a good chance that it will be shit, in my opinion. And there's a good chance that it will be good, in my opinion. But as we know, I won't be playing it immediately because it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and I simply can't justify the purchase of a PlayStation 5 just for that game. Excuse me. So yeah, that's my view on the Souls series. It's a somewhat unique view, because, you know, there is definitely a generality of people who wouldn't know a good Souls game if it smacked them up the back of the fucking head. But, you know, I think more people know what a good Souls game is now that, oh, really? That's what happens when you're in New Game Plus. Things like a crossbow bolt can just deal that much damage to you. So, yeah, what an awkward situation that is. That's alright. I'll run back. Well, Bloodborne, I've talked about it many times before, and to be honest, it's been 5 years since I played it. You have to understand that my observations are not like the clarity of my observations is not as great as it was 5 years ago. But I hated the combat system in the way that it promoted a hack and slash sort of thing, hit the enemy before they can hit you, because for me there was the parry system was strange, there was no real shielding system. For me, a shield and a sword is bread and butter for any game that is going to liken itself to the Souls series, and I went into Bloodborne wanting a Souls game, and it wasn't a Souls game. Like, it just wasn't. Anyone who thinks that Bloodborne is a Souls game, well, they're wrong, obviously. And I don't need to tell you that. It's obvious that the game is not a Souls game. But, yeah, unfortunately, that's what I wanted, and I didn't get that, so... I was going through Bloodborne, and it didn't feel like I was really progressing. I mean, really, I played the game for, what would it have been, 15 hours or something like that? Straight. Maybe a break of an hour here and there. But more or less 15 hours of playing the game, which isn't really good for anyone's mental health in that moment, because it was a little stressful. Because I was basically having to learn... I think there was no rolling either. I think you were dodging around to the side. That felt like complete shit. Complete shit. Yes, simple things like that can bother me. The way the sword and shield went from being a jump forward, X and A, to being a slide forward was enough to piss me off. So yes, not being able to roll and instead sliding around like a dickhead was enough to piss me off. That's my memory of it. It could be wrong. But yeah, Again, I don't have the benefit of clarity here because it's been a little while, but I just remember playing the game for like 15 hours and I was progressing through this location that just, it all looked the fucking same. I was used to scenery changes, and I wasn't getting any of those at all. And it just felt utterly monotonous. What the fuck are you... Oh, it's because I don't have the Thief's Ring. So when you don't have the Thief's Ring, sometimes these dogs can actually come up here, which is insane. That should give you some perspective on how it is to play this game without the Thief's Ring if you've never done it. It's bizarre. Because those dogs are way down in there. And that guy just came up like I was right in front of him. Weird. As far as Sekiro, there's absolutely nothing that I have to say about that game. I don't dislike it, I don't like it, because I know absolutely nothing about it. The reason why I don't play it is because of the experience that I had in Bloodborne. That's the reason why. I honestly feel that I can't play a game that's not Souls, that's made by From Software. Or, let's rephrase that. I can't play any game from Software that's not a Souls game. Is that what I said before? Maybe it is. But my point is that if it's by From Software, I need to have it be a Souls game, or I won't be happy, because the Souls formula is what I adore. And if it's not Souls, I'm just going to be sitting there going, I wish this was Souls. And some people might find that ignorant, I don't know, but it's just the way I honestly feel. Oh, I knew that was fucking coming. You moon quickly. That was extremely close, I think you guys saw that. Okay, come over here and I'll parry your stupid ass. You've officially pissed me off. As you can see, a thrust attack from a Blue-Eyed Knight in New Game Plus is enough to almost kill you in one hit, even when you have pretty decent soul level. No, I wouldn't be willing to play it again co-op, because that would require the purchase of a PS4. And I honestly, I'm not playing it. Thank you for the, I know what you're suggesting, no. The answer is a flat no. Capital N, capital O, exclamation mark. No chance on this green earth. Never playing that fucking game ever again, sorry. It is a fucking profanation of everything that I love about the Souls series. And I would say that that statement that I just made is probably on the verge of being ridiculous. But it's what I honestly feel, and the only thing more heinous in my mind than playing Bloodborne again would be playing World again. That's how strongly I feel about that. Now, I don't feel that strongly about playing Sekiro. It just so happens that I have absolutely no interest in playing it. One of the reasons why is because I still have a lot of Dark Souls 3 to play. I've only done about 180 hours in Dark Souls 3, which is nothing. I haven't even really gone through the DLC. I've just been having fun making builds. And I feel like I haven't really fully explored that game yet. Not even close, in fact. So therefore, I have a lot to enjoy in Dark Souls 3. Shockingly, I have things to explore in Dark Souls 2 as well. That game is like a fight. I have a very... I was going to say I have a love-hate relationship with Dark Souls 2. I couldn't even call it that. It's more like a hate-neutral relationship with Dark Souls 2. And I find myself playing it just in the interest of variation in the Souls series, because, you know, it's still, in spite of the fact that it ruins a lot about the Souls series, or it ruins a lot of the things that makes Souls good, it's still Souls. It feels like Souls. It feels like shit Souls, but it feels like Souls, whereas Bloodborne doesn't feel like Souls, so, yeah. I would say that most of my strongly negative opinions about Bloodborne are unreasonable, and I'm willing to admit that, but I can't change the way I feel. So, no, Bloodborne is a PS4 exclusive. Always has, always will be. Or maybe not always will be. It might get a remaster on other systems, but much like... Oh, then again, having said that, that's not the case with Demon's Souls. It's being remade in... or simply for the PS4. Now, whether or not that gets released on other systems is yet to be seen. I would suggest no. But, again, the future is the future and you cannot predict it. You can say what's likely, but... we may yet get Demon's Souls on a system outside of the console space. In other words, PC. Which would be great, because console gaming, particularly in the year of 2020 and 2021, is kind of, you know, what's the best joke of 2021? Console gaming, ha 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 ha, that sort of thing. That's my honest feeling. So, you know, console gaming is a thing of the past. Always. Well, no. Couch gaming. What a fucking pathetic excuse for... or what a pathetic justification for the purchase of a console. But again, maybe I just don't get it. Couch gaming. My fucking ass. Anyway. I probably sound extremely inflexible, don't I? I am a little bit inflexible with my opinions at times. But... that's only when it comes to certain things. There are certain things that I don't move on. One of those will be my opinion on Bloodborne. That game can go fuck itself. And people can't handle what I just said. Like, a lot of people can't handle that. For some people, Bloodborne's the holy grail of gaming. And when I say that it's dog shit, they can't handle it. Oh, one thing that I will mention also is that a contributing factor that... or a contributing aspect to my frustration was the fact that when Bloodborne came out, the loading screens were really slow. There were these fucking bright white loading screens from memory, or maybe they weren't bright white, maybe I'm getting confused with Assassin's Creed 3 or something. But I just remember white loading screens that went for like a minute to a minute and a half. So every time I died, I had to look at that. And that just exacerbated the whole frustration of playing the game for me in a way that really just... I had never experienced that in a Souls game before. Like, what was frustrating me in Bloodborne was not what had frustrated me in Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Dark Souls 2 when I was playing them for the first time. That's when I realized, no, this is different. This is just bad. You know? Because by that point, I had a very clear understanding of what was a Souls gripe and what was a bad game gripe, because I had played so much of the other games as like a person who hadn't played them before, you know, trying to get through trial and error challenges. Now, the whole point of the Souls series is trial and error. That's how you learn. Whoa, it's raining a lot outside right now. I need a heal, like now. You know, the shield of the Tower Knight actually saved me there. I'm actually going to, at risk to myself, kill this dickhead and his friend. Now, I say at risk to myself because I don't want to be attacked by the Tower Knight. It's always a little dangerous to get into this position, but at this point, I'm going to fucking die by the bolts of the... Okay, the lighting's still alright, thank God for that. But, yeah, at that rate, I was going to be dying at the hands of the bolts of the enemies over there rather than to the Tower Knight, so... I'm able to actually hit the head this time. I was hitting the arm before, which is not as good of a damage point. But I should be able to kill him here. There we go, that should kill him. But yeah, the point is that I was very comfortable with the trial and error of all the Souls games before then. I mean, Dark Souls 2 was pissing me off in a different way because I felt like... Well, Dark Souls 2 had so many ambushes set up that it was getting dumb and it wasn't creative, but I sat there and said, okay, I'll put up with it. But Bloodborne, that game just pissed me off. Dark Souls 3 is probably... I don't know how much it is. It's probably still pretty expensive, but... You mean Bloodborne has numerous glitches? I wasn't aware of that. But I'm not going to say that I'm not surprised, because... Oh wait, it's the Maiden in Black. I probably need to talk to the Monumental. Let's go and do that. Because I still haven't leveled up. I just went through World 1, 2, because I was in the middle of a conversation about something. Probably the same conversation that I'm having right now. And I was just, I wasn't thinking of what I needed to do. So yeah, let's go and talk to the Monumental, because unless we do that, we cannot level up. Right. Well, I don't know if the glitches really impact regular gameplay. They probably don't. They're probably just exploits to be used by people who really want to go out of their way to do something. It's when glitches actually impact regular gameplay that they become inexcusable. So I'm not going to sit here and fault Bloodborne for having glitches that speedrunners can use to clear the game faster. It's like, whatever. Because that probably wouldn't affect me, but yeah, I have issues. I think you misunderstood the combat of Bloodborne. It's all about learning the opponent. It does kill the blocking aspect a lot, but the combat is super well thought out if you understand the opponent. Well, yeah, but unfortunately there were certain basics that were missing for me. This is the idea. I don't think maybe you could say that I misunderstood the combat, but I understand that it's... I would not be saying that the game is comparable to the Souls series if it were not for the fact that it had trial and error, difficult combat. Trial and error being, you know, you need to learn through failure. I understand that that's necessary. I understand that learning the opponent is necessary. That's kind of a basic thing in most video games, not just the Souls series. But it was the fundamentals that were missing that was pissing me off. Fundamentals like the blocking. Fundamentals like the way you dodged. Fundamentals like parrying. I have to shoot some fucking gun? Fuck off. You know, it can be summed up with the following statement. I wanted a Souls game, I didn't get a Souls game, I didn't like it. Simple as that. I can sit here and fault the game all day, but really that's the problem. That's the underlying issue for me. And obviously, if that's my contention, then there's nothing that can be done, because the game will never be a Souls game, so I will never like it. It's really that simple. And because that was my basis for disliking Bloodborne, my thought was that that would also be a basis for disliking Sekiro. So there's that reason, then also the fact that I'm very much enjoying Dark Souls 3 and all the other Souls games still, so I don't feel like it's needed for me to go and play Sekiro, like, as if I have time for that shit. So, yeah. Again, as far as Sekiro is concerned, I've got nothing to say. Nothing positive, nothing negative. Just lack of interest. So we can probably go and consume these two things here, and also, we don't really need any of this, do we? One thing that I was considering was whether or not I would go further into magic when going through New Game Plus. It's probably not necessary, because, I mean, maybe it is necessary. Maybe I could get warding. Maybe warding would be worthwhile. So if I get warding and keep the Iron Demon Soul for that purpose, maybe that would make getting through New Game Plus a little easier. I wouldn't go so far as to get Second Chance or something, but warding might be nice to have in New Game Plus and beyond. Also, one thing I hated about Sekiro was the name of it. Shadows Die Twice. Why is it necessary to have that in the fucking title? And it sounds dumb as well. Shadows Die Twice? What? When that name came out, I was sitting there going, wait, what? For the best part of a minute, I was like, Shadows Die Twice? It was just for me, it was a dumb name. It didn't need to be there. Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Find the outlier. And also find the one with a shit name. I don't know. Very petty complaint, but it's an observation. Just stupid. Anyway, let's get off that topic. Lead Demon Soul. Do we need this thing? I'm not really going to get any souls from it, so I may as well put it away. Like, seriously, the souls that I'm going to get from this thing are completely irrelevant. So, let's just put that away. False King Demon Soul. Are we going to get anything from that? I think its only use is the... Northern Regalia. Well, we'll consume this for souls because it's the Beast Demon Soul. That's all it's used for. Our soul counter, by the way, is this. But as far as the False King Demon Soul, what is that used for? I don't think it's really used for anything outside the Northern Regalia, but I will double check because I don't want to make a stupid mistake, because I do forget about things from time to time. Okay, fine, I'll look on my laptop, which might take a little while. Demon Souls, Wikidot. Thank God for past searches on Google. Google. Anyone who doesn't use the Wikidot wiki for Demon Souls is a cretin. Okay, so... not really. Some people are unknowingly ignorant. Or my point being that they don't actively go, the Wikidot wiki sucks, I'm using Vextra Life. It's not like that. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. Okay, so boss souls, where are we? Items, no. Your character, oh, no. Hello? I mean, yes, I could search it, but I'm lazy. I think upgrades. Oh no, here we go, found it. Ah! Of course, when I'm doing something that you guys can't see, it's a lot less engaging, I realise this, but, you know. Bosses / demon souls. That's what we want. I'm going to check to see if there is any additional use for the... whatever he's called, the... False King Demon Soul. So, False King Demon Soul is used for Northern Regalia and nothing else. Now, because we're going to be killing the False King in this playthrough here in New Game Plus anyway, and we'll be getting a new soul anyway, we can consume this without any real issue, because we can't make Northern Regalia here in this run, so that'll be fine. We will consume it for the souls, and do it that way. Okay. Hello, Jack Zero. I'm not too sure what you're laughing about, but thanks for laughing, I guess. Anyway, what we will do is put away this hardstone, and then we will indeed consume the False King Demon Soul for the souls that it gives us. And also, we might go and rescue Sage Frake to get warding immediately. Because... oh dear. So, in terms of Stones of Ephemeral Eyes, we did pick up one, but we also consumed one because I was being a fucking idiot. And we're probably at... it's not even pure white in Boletarian Palace. So maybe we can take down Boletarian Palace and go and kill Execution Marauder. Because we're not going to be going to Boletarian Palace for a little while yet, because we can't access 1-3. So maybe it would be worthwhile doing that. Again, I will be fucking cheesing her with Poison Cloud, because I don't give a shit. But, of course, we do need to actually kill her with the weapon itself. It just means that we'll be sitting around for a little while before we actually go in and fight. Okay, let's go and consume the False King Demon Soul. There we go. We are now at 514,505. So, there we go. That's a good number of souls. Not a huge amount really at this point in the game, but we will be able to level up quite a bit with these. Oh, shut up. Let me seek soul power. What is it? What the fuck do you think? I'm not here to have a chat, lady. I'm here to level up. Okay, so... endurance to 30. Do we want to increase... we don't need to worry about magic power, because again, warding does not scale in any way with magic power. But we might need more MP to cast the spell. So let's have a look and see... oh, about the shadows die twice. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. So I'm just going to have a look and see what the MP requirement is for warding. I'm happy to just have enough MP to cast it, and then I'll just have a fresh spice to get my magic back up, you know. It just lets me allocate more of my souls to vitality and endurance. Of course it says will because I'm playing the Chinese English version. It is, of course, intelligence in the other English translation. Okay, let's have a look at the... let's just type it in. Let's not be lazy. Warding. I wonder what it's called in the Chinese English version. It might be the same, might be different. I don't remember. Yeah, let's go. Operation timed out. Suck my dick. Okay, spells, magic and miracles. Here we go. Sorry, I don't mean to be so crass as to say things like suck my dick, but you know, it can do that. Because I'm doing a live stream here. Okay. What have we got? Warding, where art thou? There you are. Is that 50 MP? That's not much at all. Is that a 50 MP requirement? God, we can cast the hell out of that. I'm actually shocked that it's only 50 MP. Well, by comparison, Cursed Weapon is 100. Firestorm is 100. What else is high? Soul Sucker is 100. Soul Thirst is 200. Jesus. And Warding's only 50. Warding is one of the best spells in the whole game, and it's only 50. That's crazy. Okay. So if it's only 50 MP, we can leave Intelligence alone. This is a good thing. Because that means, again, we'll be able to put more points into Vitality and Endurance. Now, what about other stats? Are we leaving them alone? I want to be more lucky. No. Now, the item occurrence stat, to my knowledge, is kind of bugged in this game. The extent to which it's bugged is something I'm not aware of, but it should still work fine with the Blue Blood Blade, and I will be doing a build with the Blue Blood Blade at some point, and we'll just have to see when that happens. So we're going to be upgrading these in groups of 5, like so. Actually, now that I think about it, I did that in the wrong order, didn't I? I want to take you to... do I want to take you to 40? Yeah, we're taking you to 40. Can we even make it? No, we can't. That's alright. This is looking fine. Again, it's very necessary for us to get our vitality up because you can see we're taking heavy damage at the moment, and the more health we have, and as well as that, the more damage we're taking, the more grass we're going to need, and the less useful Half Moon Grass will be for us. Insufficiently efficacious. So therefore, we need to find some sort of grass vendor, who I suppose will be Patches the Hyena, because he's always the one that I go for. Are we going to go and talk to him? Probably not, because I don't want to do 4-1. We don't need a repeat of the last, or the recording before, I think it was. So yeah, I think what we are going to do is rescue Sage Frake. It might be a little bit difficult to get through. Oh, by the way, I don't have enough Stones of Ephemeral Eyes. The plan is to go through World 4... No, World 3, sorry. Get the Stones of Ephemeral Eyes that are in that world. There are 2 of them that I can think of now. And then with those we should be able to take down Archstone 1. And then we'll kill Black Phantom Execution Marauder. And we'll have a stronger weapon as a result. That's the plan. Now, the stupid thing is, if I were to fully upgrade my Dragon Claymore plus 2, or even probably fully upgrade this thing, it would be doing more damage than this Demon Brand. Yes, I know it says 276 here, which is technically better than 240, but the point is that that's not all physical damage, so it's not necessarily going to be incredibly better than the Demon Brand in all confrontations. But anyway, let's go to the Tower of Latria and say hello to the Cthulhus. Anyway. Skiver the Wanderer. I don't want to actually fight Black Phantom Skiver. He is someone that I haven't fought yet. I think I might have fought him on camera in one of my earlier builds. May have even been my magic build, what the fuck? Yeah, magic build. Why is it so frickin' bright? What's the deal with that? Like, it's actually really bright. Anyway, it doesn't matter. At least you can see me. It's better than nothing. It's better than not being able to see me. Okay. So again, the last 2 recordings that I've done for Demon Souls have been very long. We're not having another long recording this time around. Whoa, whoa. I could fucking hear you. You bloody thing. Look at the damage. Less than impressed I am. Okay, backstab him. That should kill him. There we go. We should just be going for criticals at this point because our regular damage is just not good enough. Okay. Continue in this... Oh. You know, my brain was actually resisting what I was about to say. I think I was about to say, let's continue in this directione or something like that. And my brain was like, stop, 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 don't say it, don't say it. And that's why I stuttered there. Okay, backstab, go for it. Missed it. It's alright, let's get out of the way. Get ready to receive this attack here. Go in for the shot. No, what we should be doing at this point is just... Uh-oh. I don't mind getting hit. What we should be doing is going two-handed because we're not going to be using our shield for anything here. And we really do need to deal some extra damage, so that's how we'll do it. Hey, BitPhoenix. Oh, I forgot to do a ping on the Discord again. I think the reason why is because everyone's fucking offline, so I don't see the point. But I should just be in the habit of pinging on my Discord to announce that the stream is going live. It's important. Okay. Still not great damage, look at that. Oh, fucking god. New Game Plus. This is the reason why we need to go and level up our sword damage. Now, ideally, we would have had the Northern Regalia fairly early on, and that would really help us out with dealing more damage in New Game Plus, but no, my name's Doomlink and I forgot to get the Soulbrandt. So, here I am with Demon Brand, going through New Game Plus with less than ideal damage. It is the way it is. Now, I don't know if you saw that, but my camera actually automatically moved and almost pushed me over the edge there, which was really terrible. Oh yeah, there's one thing that I wanted to mention. And I'll definitely mention this in another recording, like several recordings, just so that everyone is on the same page. But I do plan to start a livestream playthrough after Twilight Princess HD of Pokemon Snap. Now, I've talked about this before, because I thought that doing a Pokemon Snap livestream playthrough on the original Nintendo 64, by the way, not emulated, actually recorded off the Nintendo 64, because I find it to be more enjoyable that way. But I did mention that I was going to do this a while ago, and that was before Pokemon Snap was announced to be receiving a remake, or it was announced that Pokemon Snap would be receiving a remake. So now that it's actually going to get a remake, I want to do that recording as soon as possible, because I don't want it to come after. I want it to come slightly before. So therefore, I do actually have Pokemon Snap coming in the mail, sort of. The reason why I say sort of is because I ordered it from Germany, and Germany's getting anally fucked at the moment, apparently. Maybe not anally fucked, but they're definitely having some issues with their postal service insofar as they can't deliver to my country. Now, that hasn't been an issue in the UK or the US or anything like that. I do get things delivered to me very often, because most of what I want doesn't even exist in my country. So I do buy online very often, and I've already received shipments from the UK, the US. I'm having another one come from the UK now, so that hasn't been an issue in other countries, but Germany can't do it, so I have to wait until the German Postal Service is willing to deliver to my country, and I don't know when that will be. So my arms are in the air, the situation is up in the air, and I declare that I do not know when I will have Pokemon Snap in my hands. But maybe soon, maybe soon. Probably not. If there's a second wave over there, might be quite some time until I get Pokemon Snap. It'd be faster to fucking fly to Germany. Imagine doing that for Pokemon Snap. That's called true desperation right there. I want to take photographs of Pokemon. It's going to be very awkward because I haven't played enough Pokemon to even remember the Pokemon names. So I'm going to be taking photographs of these Pokemon and I don't even know their names, and everyone watching is going to be cringing to high heaven. So yeah, I hope you guys are ready for that. That's part of the reason why I want to record it. You know, it would just be really enjoyable in my opinion. It's such a stupid game. I see no value in it, and I'm absolutely utterly shocked that it's getting a remake. Like, who the fuck needs that? Who was asking for that is the better question. If anyone was, I would like to think that it was a joke. But apparently it's not a joke anymore, because it's getting a fucking remake, so... yeah, Pokemon Snap, everyone. Get ready for some serious Pokemon photography. Because now it's not just some shitty game from 1999. It's a frickin', you know, modern Switch game. Or soon to be a modern Switch game at the very least. So... I can't say I'm excited by the idea of that getting a remake, but I am excited to play the actual game in its original form. I played it once a long time ago on emulator. I want to play the actual original game. And I do suspect that it will be funny. There's a loud bird making noise outside, nothing out of the ordinary for me in my recordings. But I suppose I felt it necessary to mention that there was such a bird making this rather disruptive noise in the background. Again, beats a jackhammer. Beats a jackhammer. Uh-oh. Getting a lot of natural light outside. And there goes the wind again. I don't know, the weather is absolutely off the charts today. It's all over the place. Sometimes it's heavy rain, sometimes it's not. Mostly heavy wind though. And it's kind of a funny situation. So, I was actually going to go outside and eat, but I haven't eaten today because I wanted to avoid the rain and the wind. You know, the rain is fine, but when the wind is blowing, you get wet all over. To start with, you can't really take out an umbrella, because it'll get blown away. And even if you do take an umbrella, the wind is blowing the rain on an angle, so you just end up getting wet anyway. Okay, let's go and get one of the 2 stones of ephemeral eyes. I hate this drop, because depending on how you drop, you can just go straight off. Seriously, because if you drop at the wrong speed, you will move too far forwards and just drop. And it's not good. So now we're at 5, I believe, stones. What are you thinking, Jack Zero? Do tell. Okay, let's hit... I mean, what's with the coffins? They're bloody. That's really gross. Yeah, Wrath of God, or God's Wrath as it's called in this game, should be at the speed of the Mind Flayer castings. That would be really sensible. But unfortunately it's not. And I don't even think increasing your casting speed to the maximum will get you casting that at the speed of the Mind Flayers, but it is the way it is. Now, we can't actually rescue Sage Frake until we get the special key, unfortunately. Which is pretty much right at the boss. We need to complete the whole of World 4... No, 3-1, I'm saying 4-1, asshole. 3-1 to actually unlock Sage Frake, unfortunately, but... I do really want warding, so we'll do it. Stop attacking each other. That's my job. Now, Poison Cloud isn't really necessary with these guys because I'm just going to kill them in the time it would take for Poison Cloud to do anything. Why would you do that now? That might kill me. Let's have a look and see. What have we got? Okay. That's not too bad. I'm trying to prolong my invulnerability period there. Let's use some Late Moon. Hi. I love their little run forward attacks. Very cute. Not really. Look at him go. Stay away. I really like those that little run forward because it's very predictable. You know when they're going to do it. It's a good design. It's a really good design. Because when you've got predictability, you've got an opportunity to kill them. Because you can... When you see them do that attack, you know they're going to run forward and you know that's a chance for you to hit them without getting hit yourself. So I do very much like their design. Again, that could be something that changes completely in the remake. And that's the kind of shit that I don't want. I don't want things to be remade. I think this game's perfect in so many ways. Yes, there are certain things that can be updated because there are certain quality of life changes that were made to the series after this game, but I really don't believe that it should extend to anything else as far as changes being made. I don't think that it's necessary to change things like, for example, the way the Mind Flayers attack you. Like, that should be kept as it is in this game. Which is why I think that I will still be playing the original version of this game long after I actually have the remake in my hands. Which is sad. I would like that not to be the case. I would definitely be returning to the original version for nostalgia's sake, but I certainly wouldn't be wanting that to be the definitive version for me. I'd like a remake to be better, but I don't think it will be. I really don't. So, we'll just have to see. I think so too, Jack Zero. I think they'll change a lot of things, and I think at every single turn, I'm going to be disappointed and sad, and I'll be wanting to play this game, not the remake. And I think what makes me most disappointed and sad is because barely anyone's played Demon Souls. No one's going to give a shit when everything has changed. No one's going to give a shit because they didn't play the original game, so why would they care? They have no point of reference. Shut up. What did... There was an X prompt there with text that looked different to what I'm used to, so I wonder what that said. I do apologize for the fact that the lighting's a bit bright on my face right now, but I'm sure you can forgive me for that. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't forgive me. I'm sorry. I don't want to fight that Black Phantom right now. I don't think I'm ready. You've seen the amount of damage that I'm doing to the Mind Flayers. That Black Phantom's gonna smack me around. I honestly think that. So, what I need to do is therefore go back to where Sage Frake is, rescue him, and return to the Nexus, get warding, and head into a different Archstone. That's what I think. Oh, that's right. I was wanting to take down World 1 to go and fight Execution Meralda. Now, I've got no idea what that experience is going to be like. I think I will be using the Dragon Claymore for that. I don't have the materials to upgrade it further, so upgrading it isn't something that I'm avoiding necessarily. I actually can't upgrade it right now, so... Because if I could upgrade it, I probably would do that. to use it to fight Executioner around her, because she's going to have a lot of health. And she's going to hit like an absolute truck. So, I'm not really looking forward to that. I think Sage Frake is... Oh, where am I? Okay, I'm here. Very specific Doom Link. Where am I? Oh, I'm here. I suppose the meaning you're supposed to take out of that is that I now have my bearings. Prison of Hope special key.
Magnificent. I never expected to get out of there. I thought,
Yes, yes.
I owe it.
Gary Stiletto, and now he will return to the Nexus. And we shall do the same. I don't know if we have any stones, or rather shards of Archstone. I'm only going to check out of interest. I have no intention of using one. Okay, we don't have any. Now what I might do... No, I was going to try and have Patches come to the Nexus to buy more grass, because I am really starting to run out of it. I mean, if you look at this, this is not great. I don't want to be using New Moon just yet, because I'm going to need New Moon, really. Okay. Let's not go off the frickin' edge over there. I guess I can buy grass from you, can't I? Let's do that. Good idea, Doomlink. She's having a bit of a sing-song. Full moon? That's alright. It's better than nothing. I'll buy 10 of those. Oh yeah, the Ring of Avarice as well. It's quite... I think I bought that, didn't I? I actually bought it off her. Or was that a different build? That must have been a different build. How weird is that? Okay. Must have done that in my strength build towards the end of it. It's very strange. But I guess that makes sense. Now that I really think about it. Okay. Again, I absolutely love the way the Eternal Warrior's Ring looks on this armor set. It complements it so well, because the armor set is already this lovely green color. And then the Eternal Warrior's Ring just... It really... it's beautiful in my opinion. Because it matches the armor and it makes it look more vibrant. Even though it was already quite vibrant. Ugh, how long have we been recording? About an hour and 12? I'd say maybe another 40 minutes or something for this recording. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe not even that long. Depends on how we go. We can put away... Why did I keep the white bow in my inventory? That's a question to ask. Curious. Crossbow can fuck off as well. You know the Soulsborne fans who started the series with Dark Souls 3 don't deserve to play Demon Souls. Look, I see where you're coming from when you say that, and you might be saying that in a tongue-in-cheek way, but I don't think that, I don't think people are undeserving of playing this game. I think that playing this game should be seen as a form of education, rather than something that, you know, you need some, there's like a barrier to entry, which is play the other games before Dark Souls 3. Not necessarily, I think they would be better off playing this game and educating themselves on what the series is about, rather than not playing it because they don't deserve it. That's what I honestly see to be the case. Anyway. Could you bring your Demon Souls to me? Yeah, don't worry, mate. I've got one right here for you. Oh, Total Protection. Remember when I was saying that maybe they've changed the name for warding? Well, not changed, but rather warding was the Atlas translation, and it might have been something different. I was literally looking through this list going, where's warding? And then I realized, oh, Total Protection. Yeah, Total Protection. Which is something that we all need in the bedroom. But sadly, it does not exist. Anyway, we now have Total Protection, which means that the main in black had better watch out. Now, who needs protection with her? Fuck it. Oh, I don't have enough capacity. I fucked up. I need more achievement. Just when I was thinking, oh, do I have enough MP to cast it? I completely forgot that actually I would probably also need more achievement slots. That's kind of annoying. But it won't be too difficult to get more achievement, I don't think. You know, getting 2 slots is not hard. It's not hard at all. They won't understand the atmosphere. I honestly believe that Dark Souls 3 returns to much of the atmosphere that made this game good. I really do believe that Dark Souls 3 is a modern expression of Demon Souls. And I think it's good. It took everything that was actually a decent point of evolution for the series that was in Dark Souls 2, and they put it into that game. And they also brought... For me, Dark Souls 3 was the... And I think this is the reason why they wanted it to be the final Souls game. For them as game developers, it was literally an amalgamation of all the Souls games up until that point, including Demon Souls, and was the best they could possibly do to bring all those things together. And I think they did a good job with it. Everyone has their own opinions when it comes to Dark Souls 3. I know some people who play Demon Souls, much like I do, really don't like Dark Souls 3. I love it. I think it's great. It's Dark Souls 2 that I cannot abide, and it's Bloodborne that I can't handle. But Dark Souls 3 feels like a job well done. Yes, there are certain issues, like the fact that there isn't the sort of world building that was present in the original Dark Souls. That will always be a problem. No game, in my opinion, will ever have the beautiful world crafting and the way in which it was all interconnected that the first Dark Souls game had. That was beautiful. That was a work of art. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, it feels good to play, it's fun, it scratches my Souls itch as much as any other Souls game for me, or at least close to. Again, that does not include Dark Souls 2, that game can fuck off, but I'm neutral to Dark Souls 2 now. I'm not actively hating it so much. It's only when I really put it in context with the series and compare it to the other games that I go, God, that thing's like a dirty disease, you know. You feel the same way? Well, that's good to know. Okay, so what are we doing? How many souls do we need to level up at this point? And how many more upgrades do we need to get another slot in our attunement? Don't know if that's the right way to even put that, but it doesn't matter. Let's have a look. I will seek soul power. I certainly do not have enough souls. Okay. I'm starting to become a little concerned that I didn't have the Ring of Avarice in my inventory. Okay. I think that means that we will have to go and fight Executioner Marauder without warding. Can I handle that? I think so. But we probably can't take more than 2 hits, and she can attack pretty fast. So, are we ready for this? I think so. What's the best way to kill myself in World 2 at this point? Is it go to the Dragon Bridge? I guess so. That's what I was doing in past builds, so I guess I'll have to do that this time. And we have 6 stones, don't we? Yes. So that should be enough to get us down, because we're not at Pure White in Boletarian Palace. Okay, let's do it. The people who say Dark Souls 2 is the best Souls game are... I don't know who those people are. They're fools. Absolute fools. And they... I mean, I say that they should be ashamed of themselves, but they won't be. They are unashamedly ignorant. So, they can just continue being that. I don't think that a person could say that it's their favourite Souls game unless it was their first one. I strongly believe that if Dark Souls 2 hadn't been played by so many people, like, let's keep in mind that Dark Souls 2 was the game that broke the mainstream in the Souls series. Yes, Dark Souls 1 was a big step towards popularity in the series, because it, oh god, this is going to take a while. Okay. But it was a big step forward in the series as far as being discovered. I think it was because I got hit by the dragon, not the fire. Here we go. This might hurt a bit more. There we go, that's what I want. Now, Dark Souls 1 was still very popular, but the situation with that game was that it still had a community, it was still a niche. But then Dark Souls 2 comes out and it is actually mainstream. The advertising has been ramped up to 11, and the average person playing Dark Souls 2 when it came out had not played the first game, and they had certainly not played Demon Souls. There were plenty of people who played the first Dark Souls game who never played Demon Souls, the reason being that they didn't have a PlayStation 3, which was, in my view, at that time and now, an appropriate reason as to why a person wouldn't play the game. Like, that's fair. Don't have a PlayStation 3? Makes sense to me. Don't buy a whole console just for a game. Or just for one game, that is. Come on, Dragon. Don't waste my time. But, what was the point that I was making? Oh yeah, because so many people played Dark Souls 2 as their first Souls game, so many people have a special place in their heart for that fucking game. And that's pathetic. I think that's a fucking insult to those people, that the game that's special to their hearts is Dark Souls 2. It's disgusting. It's like how there are going to be people in 20 years who look back on games like Fortnite and Apex Legends, and they're going to be like, oh, the nostalgia, and I'm just like, oh, fuck. Just the mere thought of that makes me sick. But it will happen, believe me. It will fucking happen. You know, that's the sort of feeling that I get from people actually having a soft spot for Dark Souls 2. But it's not their fault. If it was the first Souls game they played, there's a very good chance that it will be their favourite, because it's the game that taught them how to play Souls. That's why this game is so special to me, because this was the one that I conquered. I went through a great deal of hardship and adversity to get to the point that I'm at now in this game, and I'm not incredibly skilled, but there's not too much that really challenges me here. There are certain things, but the trial and error of going through the game early on has made it so I know what to do. Sometimes actually doing it can be an issue. Sometimes, especially in New Game Plus. But I know what I'm doing. And the first game where you go from having your ass handed to you to actually being able to play it like you can dominate it finally, will always be a game that will be dear to you. Because you have a history with it. You've gone through a lot of hardship, and it's just a special experience to have a game that you absolutely fail in and then master it. And again, the first game of that kind in a series will always be special to you. So, unfortunately for some people, that was Dark Souls 2. I think I had someone who joined my live stream about a year ago in Demon Souls saying that, I don't think they said that Dark Souls 2 was their favourite, but they said it was a really good game, and they had played Demon Souls first. Now, those sorts of people do exist, and that's why I have two categories for people who say Dark Souls 2 is better, or the best. The ignorant, and the people who played it as their first Souls game. Now that probably is a bit unfair, because at the end of the day, everyone's got their opinions, but I find that there's an opinion for everything. Like, every kind of opinion you can possibly imagine, it exists. It really does. You find that with, like, for example, this is a random example. The band Iron Maiden is a huge heavy metal band, and they've had a lot of albums, and a lot of very good albums. Now, because they're such a huge band, and because they have so many albums, there is a huge variation in opinion when it comes to which albums are the best. And I have found some incredible opinions. It opened my eyes to just how strange people's opinions can be about things, and how different they can be to mine, and even different to the norm. Like, there are certain opinions that are generally accepted, there are certain opinions that are a little bit out from that, and then there are other opinions that are just flatly fucking weird and stupid and incomprehensible. But they're genuine, and honest, and it made me realize that you can have an opinion about pretty much anything. Or you can have any kind of opinion about something. So, therefore, when I translate that to Souls, there's a lot of people who've played Souls games at this point. So there are almost as many different opinions as the number of people who've played those games. So, it's just one of those things. And the most popular opinion is certainly not the correct one. Because it's subjective, isn't it? Unfortunately, we need to... Hopefully 2 more will be enough to get it to pure black. Jesus. Well, we'll see what happens. If it's really necessary, we may have to actually use the cling ring. I don't want to have to do that. This is going to be a bit of a long process. And this is the problem with doing this in New Game Plus, because by the time you've reached New Game Plus, you've already gotten most if not all, that's in my case, of the worlds to pure white. So, it takes more stones to get the world tendencies down, and it's painful. At least I chose the one that wasn't at pure white. So it will be slightly easier. Anyway. Kill me, dragon. And make it quick, please. I'm trying to have it be so that he hits me with the fire. Oh, come on. Can't wait all day. There we go. That's one of the issues with World 1. There's no real easy way to kill yourself. You have to let the enemies do it. Pretty much all the other areas, except for maybe Tower of Latria. No, even Tower of Latria. You can go to World 3 too and jump off the edge. What I was going to say is that pretty much all the locations have somewhere you can just fall off an edge. It's not that way in this Archstone. So, I have to let the enemies do it. I don't think they will remove the world tendency system. That would be going too far. At that point, it wouldn't be Demon Souls anymore. So they will keep the world tendency system, and they will keep the character tendency system, because there are certain things that are actually linked to it, like the Northern Regalia, for example. They're not going to take out Soulbrandt, and Northern Regalia, and therefore they won't get rid of character tendency, I don't think. But if they had to take something like that out, it would be character tendency. What I'm not sure is whether they will choose to keep item burden. I would like for them to keep item burden, because for me, I want that. That's Demon Souls. If you can't handle item burden, don't play Demon Souls. Problem is, they're appealing to a different group of people. They're appealing to those who have played Souls games, or rather the Dark Souls games, and none of the Dark Souls games had item burden. So they don't want to piss people off, probably, by having item burden, but my point of view is, let them get pissed off. If they don't like it, tough shit. That's Demon Souls, really. Now, I was pretty happy when they got rid of item burden in Dark Souls 1, I really was. I thought that was a great idea, I didn't think it was necessary. But in hindsight... Actually, let me check to see... No, I don't think... Did I kill myself once or twice just then? I can't remember. I do still have souls over there, and I'll get them, but I want to check to see if I still need to kill myself, because that will allow me to determine whether or not it's necessary to use the cling ring for this fight coming up. But anyway, I was really happy when they got rid of item burden, but in hindsight, and with a total of 4 Souls games existing at this point, it's good to have one game that has item burden. Yeah, that's pure black, I think. It's good to have a game that has item burden because it's different, and you just have to manage it. It adds a new dimension to the game. And is it a necessary dimension? Not really, but I think, again, it has value because it's what makes Demon Souls, or at the very least it contributes to what makes Demon Souls the game that it is. So I don't think that it's appropriate to get rid of it, but I do think that there's about a 70% chance, maybe even higher, that they will get rid of item burden, because they probably think it's not appropriate. It's at their discretion at the end of the day. But I think that it would be going way too far to get rid of world tendency. At that point, you may as well be playing a Dark Souls game. At that point, you may as well get rid of archstones in general and just, you know, make bonfires. So, yeah. For me, I would be very disappointed if they chose to get rid of item burden, but I could live with it, you know, I could really live with it. The other stuff, not so much. The other stuff would really give me the shits. What else would I really be pissed about them getting rid of? The grass system. I don't want them to get rid of a grass system. I like it. But I'd say there is a 70% chance, again, that they will get rid of the grass system. Because I don't think it translates well to what people want in a Souls game today. This is the problem. This is one of the reasons why this should not get a remake. What they will make is not Demon Souls. They will make a Souls game that people of the year of 2021 want. But the outer shell will be Demon Souls. I don't fucking want that. I don't want that at all. So therefore, no one wants a grass system, but that's Demon Souls. Don't like it? Don't play Demon Souls. But unfortunately... Okay, listen. You can't change this game. The game that I'm playing right now, it's stuck in time. That's it. If you don't like the way it is, that's it. But it's being remade. They have the power to make these changes now. So, nothing's off the table except, in my view, world tendency and things like that. But I really don't want the grass system to disappear because it's a defining aspect of this game. They need to strike a balance between modernizing it and retaining the game in its original form. And I don't trust anyone with that job. I don't. Because at the end of the day, it's not about making Demon Souls true to the game as it was originally. It's about selling games. It is, unfortunately. I wish it wasn't. But I don't believe that in today's game developing environment and game distribution environment, a Demon Souls, like a faithful Demon Souls remake, can be made whilst also satisfying the money interest. I don't think so, because they will probably think in their head that anything that would be controversial or met with any level of derision or disdain or dissatisfaction from the community will result in less money. So they will do their utmost to appease those people who are very stupid but happen to be paying customers for them. So they will do things like get rid of the grass system. They will do things like remove item burden because they might think it's needed for the game to be successful. And that's sad. With this game here, it's done. What it is done. You can't change it. The remake, they need it to be successful. They want it to be successful. And they will do what they feel is necessary to make it successful. Will that be good for the game? Not at all. Not at all. Nothing done in the interest of appealing to large groups of people will be good for the game. Nothing. It can't. It's impossible. Because what the average mainstream gamer wants is not something that is going to translate into Demon Souls. It's not going to be appropriate for Demon Souls because it's not good. What they want is not good. It is an absolute miracle among miracles that Dark Souls 3 wasn't a mess. That it wasn't some sort of devolved version of Dark Souls 2, an even worse version. They did the right thing with Dark Souls 3. But that wasn't Bluepoint. This upcoming game is Bluepoint. It's in their hands. And I think they want it to be successful. And they will, if they actually needed to step all over Demon Souls with their muddy shoes to make sure that they get the money they feel is needed for the project, they'll do it. They'll do it. Now, I don't know how money works in the game industry. I don't know if the developer, Bluepoint, have a money interest. But they may be pressured by people who do. So whoever is publishing it, whoever has the most to gain from sales, in other words, so generally not the game developers to my knowledge. My understanding is that game developers don't make money when a game is successful. It's the publishers who make money when the game's successful. My point is that there will be pressure to ensure that the right steps are taken for the game to be successful. And that will hurt this game. So, that's it. Well, I honestly feel that way as well, Phantom Dust, because what I want is a remaster, not a remake. Because there's too much that you can fuck up if you make a remake. If you make a remaster, this all stays the same, except they update little things that are absolutely necessary to make it more modern. If you do a remake, nothing's off the table, is it? Anyway, I think I've had my rant. Maybe I can still go, but Miyazaki doesn't have a hand on the remake. Pretty sure he doesn't, no. So, this is Bluepoint's work. And Bluepoint are subject to money interest. Not necessarily on their own account, but on the account of others, certainly. So, there you go. And the money interest will affect it. And, you know, this is the thing. The Soul series has entered the realms of mainstream gaming such that money interest can ruin it. Because the amount of money at stake is great. This is not just going to be some game. This is going to be the next Souls release, not including the Dark Souls remaster, after Dark Souls 3, on a new console. So this game is expected to move console sales. That is absolutely the case. There is no doubt that it's going to be doing that. However, we're not dealing with small figures here anymore. We've all seen the sales for Dark Souls 3. They're not wanting to reach that and beat it with Demon Souls, because that's too much to expect. Yes, you kind of hope that you do, but you don't expect it. They're going to try and reach that point. And in trying to reach that point, I think that will kill whatever we get with the remake. I really do. And I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong, and someone with a brain will say, all we need to do is faithfully remake Demon Souls in a way that doesn't ruin the original game and the spirit of the original game to have it succeed sales-wise. There may be someone smart enough in an influential position to take that stance. But I'm certainly not. Oh, let's get out of there. It's not really worth it for that fucking crystal lizard, I'm telling you. It's going to give me, like, hardstone and sharpstone. God. Anyway, I was actually at risk of dying over that fucking crystal lizard. That is retarded, because that was not worth it. Look at the fucking damage, Jesus. It's New Game Plus for you, isn't it? Of course, these are Black Phantom Draglings, not, What the fuck just happened? I swear to... my sword must have sailed over his head, because... this is the frustration! I don't have any more Stones of Ephemeral Eyes. I think I have one. Do I have one? Maybe I have one. Do I? Yes, I think I have one. I didn't want to use it. No, I don't. Shit, fuck. That was... ah, shit! Stupid. They just deal too much fucking damage, those guys. I'm gonna get one shot by Execution Marauder, probably. This is stupid. Yes, I can go and find... actually, there's one in the Nexus, isn't there? Okay. There's a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes in the Nexus that I can get if Execution Marauder is too hard with a Cling Ring. We'll do that. We'll do that. Yeah, the damage is insane with these Black Phantom Draglings. I can handle them. Actually, let's go and equip our fucking Dragon Claymore now. Can I fast roll? Yes. Hello. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. It's got more reach. I said that this thing is the same length as Soulbrandt. I'm wrong. I'll admit it. But yeah, my sword must have sailed over his head because I definitely dealt the blow that was going to get him out of my face. Or at least I thought that I did, and then he was still alive and he killed me. So, I don't know what's going on with you. What's your fucking... Anyway. So of course, dragon weapons are pretty good because they don't have scalings. We're not really dealing with scalings here in this build, because it is a Northern Regalia build. But yeah. I don't know how Elden Ring will be. Maybe Elden Ring will be the next Souls. Maybe I can invest emotionally in Elden Ring and enjoy it. We'll see. I don't know. I will actually... You know what I'll do? You know what I'll do? I will invest in Elden Ring. I really will. Because I can't be stuck in the past forever. You know? Like, I'll have to move on from Souls eventually. Not move on in the sense that I'll never play the Souls series again. But I mean, enjoy something by Miyazaki and From Software that's not the Souls series. Like, I have to reach a point where that's possible. Then maybe at that time I can play Sekiro. But I think I will try with Elden Ring. Why am I doing this? Why am I being so stupid? I knew that was going to happen. Oh my god, I'm playing like an idiot. Whatever. Thank god I didn't go and get a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes to do that. The reason why I'm killing them is because I need a battleground to fight Executioner Marauder. It may be necessary to double back. So therefore, I can't have these guys alive and ruining the fight for me. Anyway. It's alright. Half the problem is that I'm underpowered for New Game Plus because I fucked up and didn't get the Soulbrandt. Had I received the Northern Regalia at this point, we wouldn't be having this issue. We'd be doing appropriate damage, but we're not, because I, again, fucked up, so... I'm not backstabbing, I want to hit them all. Hit them all! Hit them all today! For the low, low price of $9.99. No, stop! Fuck off, asshole. Kill this guy here, no. I was hoping to get him with the edge of my sword, didn't work out. Okay, he's dead. Yeah, give me more Crescent Moon Grass. I'm so happy. This is exactly what I wanted. Thank you, assholes. Okay. Again, would have helped to have... What am I doing? It would have helped to have warding at this point, but... Sadly, didn't have the slots for it because I was being stupid and forgot that slots were needed. I'm not sure, Jack Zero, I really don't. I don't know if they would... I don't know. No comment on that, because I don't know enough. But, God, I'm gonna kill you. Don't let them jump on me. Hit him before he can hit me. Fucking hell. Ugh, why am I spending so much time killing these guys? This is so annoying. They're so strong. They really are. I don't want anyone to jump on me while I'm doing this, so stop it. Okay, this should be safe. Those jump attacks fucking hurt like hell. Okay. There we go. Crescent Moon Grass, thank you. I may as well take it. It's useful for topping up your health to full. It's better than nothing. God, the weather's crazy outside. But yeah, I think I will try to play Elden Ring and hopefully I'll enjoy it. If I I will try my best. If I don't like it, I won't play it. You know, I won't force myself. But I will put effort in. Let that be known. I will put effort in. Where's... After all that, I didn't even have Poison Cloud equipped. What the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? I just spent like 10 to 15 minutes to get to that point, only to not even have Poison Cloud equipped, because I was messing around with my spells before, realised that I couldn't equip warding, so I just went, oh, then again, I wouldn't have been able to use warding for that fight anyway, because that would have required 3 slots. But fuck me! Why did I unequip Poison Cloud? Of course I was going to forget to re-equip it. I'm not staring at the frickin' thing that says Poison Cloud the whole time I'm playing. That's not something I pay attention to, so why did I unequip it? Fucking hell. So annoying. I'm being plagued by the very absent-mindedness that resulted in moving Soul Arrow. Nice one. I'm being plagued by the same absent-mindedness that got me in this mess in the first place, which was missing Soulbrandt. And I understand why I missed Soulbrandt. It's because muscle memory kicked in, and, you know, in my 11 years of playing this game, I've only done like 1 or 2 builds where I've ever needed the Soulbrandt, right? So it felt natural to ignore it. I didn't even see it on my screen. Had I seen it, had I been able to see it on my screen, I would have actually remembered, but I didn't see it. It was out of sight, out of mind, and it was natural for it to be out of mind because I haven't needed to even think about it for a long fucking time. Anyway, so yes, I can still chalk that up to absent-mindedness, but it's not as bad as, you know, me not even bringing Poison Cloud to the frickin' Meralda fight. Now, keeping in mind, we're not killing her with Poison Cloud. We're just taking her health down with it. And we need to be very careful with it because we don't want to kill her entirely with Poison Cloud, because then that would be absolutely horrendous if we were to do that. We can't use Death Cloud because Death Cloud is not something that will disappear over time. So Poison Cloud is certainly what we need at this point. Hello. Just die, thank you. Failed the backstab, that's alright. Slave shield. Why are you alive, for the love of my ass? What is your problem? I feel like my attacks just miss him. Maybe it made contact with him and just didn't deal the damage, I don't know. Well, it dealt the damage, but not enough. I didn't really see, but... Jesus. Okay. I hate this process. It's such a slow process killing these guys. It really is. Because there's so many of them, and each and every one of them can kill me in 2 hits. This is a nightmare. Okay, I know you guys are coming from the side. I won't let you jump on me. I just need to be so careful here. It's their jump attacks that are fucking scary, because that is probably a one-shot for me at this point. Stop it. Fucking dangerous. Never would have no, why did I do that? I almost fucked that up. I know there's another one jumping. I know. I know this thing. Oh, full moon. I don't want to use full moon. I'd prefer to have half moon at this point, with this level of health. Get away. No, he still managed to get me. Dickhead. Oh god, yeah, go in the corner, Doomlink. Great fucking plan. Get out of there. Stop. Stop! No! Fuck me! How hard is it? Just do it, Doomlink. Please, get your fucking brain in gear. Play the game. Stop dying. You fool. Half the problem was that I was pressing the circle button with my index finger, and my finger was like, nah, can't do it anymore. Pressing it 3 times is too many, can't do it 5 times. So I just stood there and took the hit. Fuck me. Anyway. Get it together. It's just there's no margin for error with those guys. They attack so frequently. They are balanced. See how that attack just missed him at point blank range? What the fuck's with that? But the Dreglings in their attacks are balanced around the fact that they don't deal much damage. So they attack extremely frequently. And quite aggressively as well. But these guys don't do no damage. They can fucking 2-shot me. And that can happen immediately. This is just, annoying. Stop it. I just wish there weren't so many of them. They've got so much fucking health and they hit me so fucking hard. So it takes a while, you know, and I have to play very carefully. And even when I play carefully, it's not fucking good enough. Stop it. Swear I had my shield up there. Not good enough, apparently. I just hate how they want to jump at me every time. Look at this. Stop it. Stop jumping around. Just fight me normally. Assholes. Who's got the patience for this? I don't, and yet look at me. I'm doing it. Fucking Jesus. Okay, where's my crescent moon grass? What a pain in the anus. It's the one up here that I can't fucking stand. There's just too many of them. Like, why do I need to fight so many? Stop. Just fucking... They're just so harmless when you come in here in New Game. They really are. And then New Game Plus, it's like the fucking gates of hell have opened and everything you ever feared in life is coming through. At the same time. Okay, do it. Yeah. Dangerous move. In fact, this is actually quite strategic. This is strategically sound. They're actually stuck in their little group and can't really move forward. And I've got them targeted in this line so that they can all be hit by that vertical slice with the R2, which is very good. So I'm actually going to do that from now on if I need to do this again, which I most certainly hope I do not, because I've certainly experienced this enough at this point. Hello, get out of my face. Many thanks. Give me your crescent moon grass. You fucking asshole. Okay. Pick up this shit for half an hour. Okay. With Poison Cloud in hand, we shall now fight Executioner Morale. Keeping in mind that we did successfully get through here last time, but we had to go back because we didn't have Poison Cloud, because I'm an idiot. Hope you guys are ready to relax, because... we're going to have to sit here and wait for her health to decrease. Maybe in the remake I'll experience this same shit. So if I stand here, I'll be able to watch her health decrease. Keeping in mind she's got a lot more health here as compared to New Game. I do not know how much more, but I would say that it wouldn't be insignificant. I'm going to watch her health. I believe that about 750 to 800 health can be dealt in one Poison Cloud. If it looks like she's got more than that left over, I will cast a second Poison Cloud. In the meantime, I can sit here and relax. I'm tempted to put on a kettle of water and make some fucking tea. I'm pissed. Anyway. Angrily drinking tea. Holy God. Okay. So yeah. Problem is, at this point, we have to sit here and wait for a while. So there will be a little bit of patience required on your part, my dear viewer. I have nothing of any real entertainment value here, do I? What would I do to entertain you? I'm not sure. There's not much more to discuss in regards to the Soul series. I think I've said enough. But, yeah. It is what it is. Am I happy with the Soul series right now? I would say yes. Because, well, no, I guess not, because the idea of Demon Souls being remade only to be worse, probably, and then be played by everyone is kind of frustrating, but outside of that, imagining that that was never announced, I feel pretty good about the Souls series. I think Dark Souls 3 did a good job wrapping it up. It was an appropriate end. Now, Elden Ring needs to step up and do something. And yeah, wow, look how much health Execution Morale has. I don't know if you can see that, but that's a lot. I might be able to do 3 rounds, rather, of Poison Cloud at this point, which is insane, because I have to sit here for so long. And imagine if I were to fail the fight anyway. That would be very annoying. I'd probably cry. Just watching Demon Souls is entertaining? Well, the problem is that we're sitting here not really doing anything, which is a problem. But we're watching Execution Morale's health slowly decreasing. This is absolutely necessary for me to do this. So, the problem is, I'm worried that she's going to basically one-shot us. I'll do my best, I really will. But, well, there's no real reason... So basically, for the VOD viewers, a guy named Clanvier in the Twitch chat says, I'm looking forward to the remake, since I ruined Demon's Souls for myself the first time around with the Stockpile Thomas glitch. Now, there's absolutely no reason why you can't just go back and play the original game without doing that. I mean, yes, you ruined it for yourself the first time around, and I can understand why you wouldn't be able to go back to it even during the same year and play it again after ruining it for yourself in that way. But you wait a few years, and I'm guessing it's been a few years since you last played, and you can just play the game again, but without that stupid glitch, and then you can appreciate it for what it is. I don't think you need to remake an entire fucking game so that you don't experience it with a glitch. That, I mean, what, are you tempted to use it? I guess if you're so incredibly tempted to use the glitch, then yeah, maybe you need a remake. Kind of sad that you need to have the game entirely remade for that reason, but alright. So to put it in a very nasty way, Clanvier, you basically want to ruin Demon's Souls for everyone who could play it without the glitch, because you couldn't play it without the glitch. Thanks. No, that's a bit mean, but... And there's absolutely no guarantee that the remake will ruin the game, but it's the potential for that to happen that bothers me. Right, okay. That's just a contributing factor as to why you're excited to play it. Well, that's fair, I suppose. But I really don't see why you can't go back to the original game and play it without the glitch. Basically, the glitch that he's talking about, Phantom Dust, is you can duplicate items using Stockpile Thomas and, well, usually it's Baldwin that you use as the vendor. Basically, you need either a Shard of Archstone or an actual binding. And the reason why I know this is because we used to do this to do our builds back in the PvP days. You would get the Nectual Binding. If you could do it properly, you wouldn't need to actually warp anywhere. You just need the right timing to do it. Basically, you have the item in your inventory that you want to duplicate. You walk up to Baldwin, or rather you use the Nectual Binding, for example. You press Start, which gets it off the screen. You talk to Baldwin. No, other way around. Sorry, it's been so long. You talk to Baldwin, open up the shop screen to an item where it says, like, how much you want to buy of said item. And then you walk away from him so that that window disappears. Then you Nectual Binding, press Start, talk to Stockpile Thomas, deposit the item you want to duplicate, and then back out of Stockpile Thomas's screen before you can warp out. That will cancel the warp. You do warp if you stay in his screen, but if you cancel out of it, you will successfully duplicate the item without needing to actually lose your souls, for example, if you're using the Nectual Binding. We did that a lot just to easily make new builds whenever we wanted to. Like, so for example, we're like, shit, I really want to make that build, we'll just go do it. But, yeah. I'm not sure if we can get away with doing another Poison Cloud, because the prospect of all this being for nothing right here is worse. Well, no. The prospect of us killing her with Poison Cloud instead of a weapon, and therefore having her death attribute to nothing in regards to our, or contribute to nothing as far as our character tendency is concerned, is a worse thought than us dying while trying to fight her at this level of health. So against my better judgment, what is her health? Oh, can we... Oh, it would be so close. You think I can... I think I can do it. No, what am I doing? Get out of there. Stop it. I think I can Poison Cloud you again. Do I want to do it? I'll be... What did... something died. What died? Hello, Meralda. Can Come into the cloud, please. Get over here. Get poisoned. Come on, don't be scared. There we go. So, this is dangerous, but I think she's got enough health to take it. I really do. So what we're going to do is we're going to have her leash by running away. This is dangerous. Okay, so if it looks like she's going to die from Poison Cloud, I will run in and try to deal the damage that kills her. It could easily not work, but I think she can handle another Poison Cloud, I really do. Oh, that will be accessible, Clanvia, because what that is the Land of the Giants, which was intended DLC for Demon Souls that didn't eventuate, and it's a snow location. We were shown a snow location in the trailer for Demon Souls, the remake. So therefore, the Archstone will not be broken, and we'll be able to access it. And because Demon Souls is kind of lacking in terms of content as compared to modern Dark Souls games of today, they will not have it be DLC. It'll just be part of the base game. So, that's how that works. No, stop it! Come on, lady! What's your fucking problem? What's with the moonwalk? Oh, fuck off. Yeah, she's not going to die from this Poison Cloud, thankfully. Thankfully. Yeah, for me, that's the only guaranteed thing that's going to be better than the original. The fact that we can access the Land of the Giants. I'm looking forward to it. And Land of the Giants was probably a working title, by the way, so they might call it something else. There might be some lore involved. It might have a proper name. We'll see. But I am looking forward to experiencing that. If you want to see what it looks like in a super basic form, you can YouTube Demon Souls Land of the Giants. And someone actually got the assets that were in the game and built them so that it was kind of playable. Like the assets that were remaining in the game from the Land of the Giants in a very, very basic form. Not properly created or anything, but a guy actually made it a playable level for himself. So that was pretty cool. And that's on YouTube if you want to see it. Okay, let's go up because she's about to run out of Poison Cloud. And I don't want to fight her in that corner. It's freaking annoying. Okay, come on, my dear. This is it. This is the fight. This is the fight I've been waiting for so long. Imagine if I failed. It's definitely possible. I'll do my best. I don't want to fight her in there. I want a proper battleground. Okay, I'm just seeing how I'm shielding her. I'm able to shield most of what she does. That's how I'm going to play this. I'm going to use range capabilities of my Claymore to hit her in that way. She can attack very fast, so it's very important that I time this correctly, and I can't read the chat while doing this because there's too much writing on the success of this. I fucked it up, but fortunately she doesn't have much range herself. I'm too scared to drop my shield and go two-handed. You know what, let's do it. Be a man, Doomlink, be a man. Okay, we can do it. The reason why there's so much pressure is because the prospect of failure is really nasty. Really nasty. Come on, Morale. She's going two-handed now, so the stakes are high. Okay, she can't heal herself, by the way. She doesn't possess that ability. There we go. We killed her with our own weapons, so this will therefore contribute to positive character tendency for us. Unfortunately, it took a long time for us to get to that point where we were able to kill her, but who cares? We did it. Now, there is a colourless demon soul over there. Do I want to drop to it? No, because I don't think I'm going to use it for anything. I really don't. So, I'm not going to risk losing the souls that I have right here, which, by the way, is 56,000, and I'm just going to return to the Nexus a champion. Anyway. If they didn't make the Land of the Giants, it would be a great loss of opportunity. Which is why they will do it. And again, it's basically confirmed. Anyone who's... this is the thing. This is really important to mention. Anyone who's speculating that the Land of the Giants might come doesn't get it. They literally showed in the trailer a snowy location. That's the Land of the Giants. Like, that's what it is. So, like, unless people haven't played the original game and don't realize that there was no snowy location here, and maybe they also don't realize that the Land of the Giants was literally a snow location, they should realize that actually it's been confirmed, right? So, yeah, Land of the Giants is coming, and it will most likely be in the base game. That's something I can't say for sure. My justification for saying that it will be in the base game is that, or rather, my reason for saying it is that the game doesn't have that much content as compared to modern Souls games. So therefore, they will probably just have it in the base game. So that will... what they'll probably do is not have it be accessible immediately, like all these other Archstones. They might have it be broken like this, and then they might repair it. But I think that that was originally intended to be DLC. Whereas this will actually be, like, once we complete all of these Archstones, this will then be accessible. This will be the final Archstone for us. That's what I think will happen. Or it could be additional content after having killed King Allen, the boss in the Old One location. They could just do the ending slightly differently, we'll see. But it won't be DLC. That's my honest belief. So, there you go. Now, I can level up with these souls. Let's go and equip these and get a few more souls. Not many more, but it's better than nothing. Won't be enough to level up twice, but again, may as well. There were snow mountains in the original opening. The reason why there were snow mountains in the original opening was because it was intended for them to come out with the Land of the Giants. They're not going to include that shit in the opening of... in my view, they're not going to include that in the opening of the remake if it's not actually going to be a location that we go to. That's really what I feel. Like, we were going to a snow location. That was their intention when they made that original opening. And then it just didn't eventuate because Demon's Souls didn't do so well. So, yeah. They'll do it. They'll bring it out. Don't worry about that. We will have the Land of the Giants because, again, it doesn't make sense. It would make 0 sense for them to not bring back the Land of the Giants. It would absolutely not make any sense. Is it possible that they won't? Technically, yes, but it's so improbable that there's no point sitting there going, I hope they bring it. They will. And if they don't, we can get angry at them when the time comes, but they will. Okay, you can see that we're now doing 288 damage with the Demon Brand. It is now stronger with pure physical damage than our Dragon Claymore plus 2, which is evidence that we have successfully brought our character tendency further to white. Now, how white can it go? I don't know. Like, how strong can the Demon Brand get? I don't know. I will check online eventually. But, yeah. Yeah, that would be so horrendous, Jack Zero, that I don't think that, yeah, it's just too improbable, in my view. Okay, so, how are we going for time? We're about 2 hours in. I think I'm going to end it there, guys. I do thank you for joining me. In the next recording, we will continue through the game until we have a decent number of Stones of Ephemeral Eyes. Actually, while I do my outro, I will go and grab the Stone of Ephemeral Eyes in the Nexus while I'm thinking of it. But basically, yeah, in the next recording, we will continue through the game just as normal, and then we will go and kill some more named Black Phantom NPCs when we do have enough Stones of Ephemeral Eyes to take down a location. Who will that be? Black Phantom Satsuki. That's who we're going to kill next. Black Phantom Lord Riddell is definitely an option as well, but I think Satsuki is someone we can deal with. I've been stupidly fighting him in the past without shielding him. If you go fast roll only with him, he's a lot harder. But if you shield him, he's pretty simple. So that's what I'm going to do. And I can't guarantee that that will happen in the next recording, because I can't guarantee that I'll get enough Stones of Ephemeral Eyes in that recording to facilitate dropping down the world tendency from pure white of another Archstone. So, again, we were one step off pure white for the Boletarian Palace Archstone this time around. Our others are actually at pure white, so that's a problem. And that means we'll probably need 7 Stones of Ephemeral Eyes to get it down. So yeah. I do thank you all for watching. I'll see you when I'm next recording, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Bye bye.